high atop the pastoral center of the Diocese of Camden, you're listening to Talking Catholic.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Talking Catholic. It's Carrie Janice here, and I'm with my good friend Mike Walsh. Hi.
Okay, we've spent some limited amount of time together in the last couple of weeks. I actually saw you more at a confirmation this weekend than I saw you pretty much for the entirety of 2024 so far.
Which is amazing. Like, what better place to see each other than being confirmation sponsors with wonderful confirmandi that we were sponsoring.
That actually was a treat for me.
It's a gift, yeah.
I will tell you that I genuinely was like, hey, it's Carrie, when we went to the Tuesday night rehearsal. That was,
the same thing.
I had no idea. I was like, hey, look at that.
I know. Yeah. I didn't either.
It's a little more shocking when people see me because I've never been invited to be a
Was that your first time?
That was my first time being a
congrats.
sponsor.
I'm really proud of you. That's great. And a great person.
Liv,
she's a great girl.
My goddaughter Olivia is fantastic. Her mom is one of my best friends. And it was so sweet when they asked me, and I was genuinely touched. I really was. It was really nice.
I felt the same when I was asked too. And actually, I mean, it's a little more common, like godparent. I've seen that a lot of times. I've been my godchild sponsor as well, and like for the person I sponsored, it was like total surprise. Like really? I did not expect it at all, and I was just so pleasantly surprised and happy and honored. And it was a great day. Besides the crazy rain, it was a great day.
That was monsoon level rain, but it was nice. It was also, I got to surprise the bishop because I didn't tell him I was going to be there. So when he got up to the altar and turned around and was in front of his chair, he looks at me and you could see him literally get taken aback by the fact that I was in the front row. And then his pre-secretary, Father Nevitt, didn't know I was going to be there. At one point, I see him lean over, like, "What are you doing here?" But it was great. And Bishop Sullivan gave a truly astonishing confirmation homily.
I love it. Actually, when I was there, I've been a sponsor many times, honored to be a sponsor many times, and I've had Bishop for the last 10 years, doing the confirmations, and heard multiple various homilies. But the one thing I will say, and that I've heard over and over again, is how personal it feels, how much the parents were like, I did not expect it to be like that. It's the bishop. And how pleasantly surprised they are to hear his message. But it's just in the delivery. Like he treats the confirmandi, obviously, with dignity and wonderful, but at the same time, makes it fun, and funny. And so the parents are like, oh, this is kind of hilarious, calling these kids up and getting them all nervous. But then he speaks to them on their level at the same time. It's really a beautiful blend of, speaking to the confirmandi and the parents and the sponsors all in one package. And I've enjoyed it a lot. And I was thinking, oh man, this could very well be the last confirmation I'm with Bishop, and I wonder who the next bishop will be and if he'll do just such a great job, because Bishop Sullivan, great job always.
It's funny. So I get to spend a lot of time with Bishop Sullivan, and he is definitely a New Yorker. And he's got some of that. I
think that's why I like him so much, because I'm from North Jersey, so it's like my kind of people.
Yes, to that. But when he's in the office or when we're in a meeting, that is not his delivery. He is very. It's gonna be
so different, right?
Yeah, he's very kind of staccato and very definitive, and not a ton of humor. I mean, don't get me wrong, he tells jokes, but not he's not overly humorous. But if you ever needed, because I know him like that, if I wasn't sure that the Holy Spirit existed, watching his homilies would be the thing that would make me believe, because when he gets behind that ambo, and when he's got the mic on him, he's walking around, he turns into a completely different priest.
It's pastorally.
It really is
the shepherd.
It really is, and it's beautiful to watch. And to this day, and I will go to my grave saying this, he gives the best homilies I have ever heard in my entire life, and in this gig, I hear a lot of them. And he's the best. He
is a good homilist, and the one thing I will say, talking about sacraments here, is I've been present for several ordinations that he's done. And the one thing he will say, both to the diaconate, the candidates for the diaconate and the becoming deacons, and those at priestly ordinations, is to take time and have a good homily. And you could see that he does that in his homilies. I always think about that when I hear a homily from Bishop Sullivan, because I saw him the week before, St. Bridget's, for the Black History Month Mass, and he's back there again next week. So it's like a three week in a row with Bishop Sullivan, which is kind of fun.
Wait, he's back there again next week?
Confirmations for St. Bridget's.
Right, of course, yeah. I forgot.
Yeah,
I heard about that.
There's a lot, but yeah. So hearing all his different homilies and all, I always think, well, he charges the men after ordination to do a good job. And I'm a really firm believer, as someone who's been in ministry for 17 years now, is that I don't ever ask the people that I'm with to do anything that I won't do myself, whether that be service, whether that be whatever, standing out there in front of the abortion clinic and praying, whatever it might be. I don't say, you go and do it, I'm just telling you what to do. I do it with them, I think that's really important. And that's Bishop Sullivan. Like, I love seeing that model in our own bishop, is that he tells them to do a good job in the homily, but he himself, you could tell he puts time, effort, and especially prayer into his homilies. And thank you, Bishop Sullivan. You do a good job. Well,
he's unique, and you said it because he's so pastoral, and that's because he was a pastor for so long. He was a pastor for most of his priesthood, and he took a lot of pride in that, and he will tell people,
not the best neighborhoods either, and not the
tough,
difficult circumstances.
He was there basically at ground zero on 9/11. I mean, it's an incredible story. So you were talking about some of the homilies he's given. I will tell you that my favorite homily to see every year is the Chrism Mass one.
Coming up soon.
Yeah,
March 26th.
Have you ever been to a Chrism Mass?
Multiple times, yes, and I'll be there this year as well.
So that's the one where he basically
reams into the priest.
Exactly, he lays into the priest,
and for a good reason,
in a fatherly way. But tells him, listen, if you are not doing these things, you are a bad priest. You are a bad pastor if you are not caring for your flock in these ways. And I don't love it. I mean, it's not like Schadenfreude. I'm not enjoying watching him.
No.
But it's not really tearing into him. He's reminding them of the importance of their priesthood and their vocation.
In his very Bronx-like way.
It is very... It is... I can't say it necessarily speaks to the word pastoral, but it definitely speaks to the way fraternal. Yeah. So he's very much one of their brothers, and fraternal correction and stuff like that. And we have great priests in the diocese. It's not like they need to hear this, but it's his opportunity. It's a good
reminder, though, and because we have to remember that Mass is traditionally supposed to be on Holy Thursday, which is the priest, the institution of the priesthood. But dioceses are allowed to move it because obviously Holy Thursday is a big day in parish life, and that's a big Mass at night, so it's hard to do everything.
It's mostly because the diocese is so big. It is entirely too difficult to drive all the way up into a central location and then have the priests go back and do their Holy Thursday Masses. So they do it on Tuesday instead.
Right.
And he's... The Bishop Sullivan, I know this is a Bishop Sullivan love fest right now, but he is also very wise in that he wants all the priests there, so they have a big priest dinner afterwards with I think an open bar. So he makes sure that everybody shows up.
Reason for more vocations, everyone.
Hey, listen,
that.
you get you're getting one free meal and one free drink.
That's pretty good
throughout your year. But anyway, so it's a great event. But you and I have seen each other a couple of times. I saw you in passing at Deacon Sam Soto's birthday.
No, only in the vineyard here we see each other.
Actually, I got to hang out with your husband more than
I know. That was a fun night. Yeah,
that was a fun night.
His 60th birthday. Yep.
Yeah, and then we saw each other briefly. I think at the Black Catholic Ministry one.
Yeah,
that was another great event at St. Bridget's. So it's been a lot of ships in the night between the two of us.
I know. That's what we do, working for the church.
That's right.
Some Mass, some party. We just see each other, and
I feel bad for the listeners though. They haven't heard you for like 5 weeks.
I know. Hi everybody, I'm back. Just tell Mike that tell him to have me on more. I would love to be on more.
You can listen. You know the rule. You can come on as much as you want. But you got to come up with the idea.
I know. I'm going to be completely transparent with all you guys. I literally texted him like, I miss hosting Talking Catholic. How about this idea?
And you came up with a really good one.
Yeah.
I'm happy we're here. And obviously we're back in your home turf at Newman Center, Rowan University, and we have a couple of your students with us, and a few students from Stockton University,
and the cousin peeps, I guess we could call them.
Cousin peeps. I like that. That's nice. Our cousins
it's kind of seems about right?
Our cousins from Galloway. That's nice. Well, let's introduce everybody.
Yeah, sure. We're talking about our favorite topic, which is Newman houses and the campus ministry, and highlighting some of the things that we have coming up for sure. So we'll start with our other campus minister from Stockton.
Hello, everyone. I'm Brittany Shields. I'm the campus minister at Stockton University.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for the long drive up. I know it's not a short drive.
Actually, I'm closer to here than I am.
Oh, that's right. You live nearby. I forgot. That's
welcome.
Right. That's right. I forgot. This is nearer for you.
But they came from far.
And whom did you bring with you?
So this is my president, Andrew.
Hi, my name is Simoes. I'm the
I think I need you to turn your mic on.
Oh, one more time.
There you go.
All right, there we go. Hi, everyone. My name is Andrew Simoes. I'm the president of the Newman Club at Stockton University.
Welcome, Andrew.
And here is my vice president.
Hi, my name is Gabriele Depaor. I'm the vice president of Newman Club, and I'm from Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey. So it's a 20-minute little walk to Stockton, pretty much.
Are you a commuter?
Yes, I am a commuter.
Yeah.
We're both commuters.
Oh, okay, great.
Nice. And in what level are you? What grade are you?
Oh, so we're both juniors.
Excellent.
So
okay.
All right.
And from your home base,
Yes.
Carrie, who do we have with us?
All right.
Hello, everyone. My name is Max Medica, and I am the vice president of the Rowan Newman House and also the leader of the men's ministry here. And I am a junior in college, and I live in Gibbstown, New Jersey, which, like Gabe said, is like a 20-minute walk, I guess, for Rowan.
Yeah.
Just not Stockton.
Going up
Who missed
322.
me? It's your girl, Katarina Henry, back and talking Catholic. I don't know what I did right to be back, but I'm glad that I'm here.
We love repeat guests.
Yes, we do.
Answering the call.
Oh, of course. Always got the ringer on. But I run our women's ministry here at Rowan Catholic as well as our pro-life ministry. So glad to be back. Thanks for having me back, Mike.
Kat, is this your second or third appearance?
So this is my second appearance.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
Feels
you know what
like
it is?
forever.
I know what it is. She also appeared on your video.
She did.
Cast.
So she's in the Talking Catholic realm 3
Yeah.
times.
Which actually,
I'm in demand.
Yeah.
very much so. Although,
Give
actually,
her her own show, Mike. That's what she's trying to say.
You know, I should have brought this up in the intro. We should mourn the fact that
oh, stop.
you're
Stop.
after how many seasons? 8 seasons.
6 for youth ministry insights, 2 for young adult ministry insights.
You have finally.
I took a break. Oh,
well, we're not saying you called it a quits from your
right now.
from being a video host.
I took a break. We'll see what happens.
I put her on TikTok and she decided she didn't want to do it
whatever the
any
Lord
longer.
wants. Yeah. Well, okay. 51 episodes, I think, of youth ministry insights, and then 16 or something.
And hey, let's give you a little bit of credit before we go back to the students, because I really did mean to bring this up earlier. How many views did one of your videos get? The one on Icebreakers?
I don't even know. It was a lot.
I believe it's over 35,000
something
views.
like that. Yeah.
So well done there. So.
But the funny thing is that I'll come in sometimes from wherever, coming in for work or whatever, and the students are already here, and they're watching them on the TV, and I'm like, get me off of the screen! Like, why do you have me on there? Like, oh,
because they love you so much. That's
stop
why.
It. So, but no, I mean, yeah, I think that's a really searched topic. Icebreakers.
It is.
I probably should just do a whole series on them at this point.
You probably
and
could.
that would have a lot of like views, maybe. So I might, maybe I will. Maybe I'll do that. But
Okay. Well,
yeah, I'm just praying about. I just needed a little rest. It was getting a lot. It's in the semester. In the summer, I'm really free and I can film a lot more, which is good. I need to, you know what? I need to get back into the awards because I had a good run for like 2 awards and then that was it. So that's motivation to get back into it too.
I'm trying to think if I submitted any of yours this year. I have to look into it.
Yeah.
No, I might have. You never know. But I don't. It's a long story. Anyway, let's talk about who we have here with us today.
So it's exciting to be here. You know, Mike asks us to always come up with ideas and my brain is always going, but it's always easy to talk about the work I do, but in a special way, you know, we want to highlight the work that both of the campus ministries are doing in the diocese. And there's also Rutgers Campus Ministry. They don't have a particular Newman House, so we're highlighting the Newman Houses themselves. And then additionally, some of the outreach to high school students that we are coming up on this spring, because I think it's really important to talk about, especially, you know, you might be listening to this and thinking, oh, I don't know what to do in college, but maybe in high school, juniors, seniors that are considering going to college at Stockton or Rowan or other Newman houses. So I'd like to first just share a little bit, and maybe Brittany can help me with this if she has anything to add, about what Newman houses are, because I know I didn't know what it was going into college myself. And there's a lot of probably listeners out there who aren't aware of what they are. So they're named after St. Cardinal John Henry Newman, and spelled Newman, so not St. John Newman, or also pronounced Neumann over in Philadelphia. Different saint. That was one thing that I didn't know. When I was in college, I thought it was the same person. Then I realized, oh, no, wait, they're spelled differently. So 2 different saints. St. John Newman was an Anglican convert to the faith and died in the late 1800s, I think it was, or early 1900s. Might have been like 1890s. In any event, they're named after him, and there's over 800 in the United States at different colleges. They could be Catholic, they could be Christian, they could be public, just as Stockton and Rowan are. And they serve the students in the Catholic faith, but they're really open to anybody that wants to come seeking and desiring faith in the Lord during their college years. And we're really blessed in our diocese to have 2 facilities that are funded pretty much primarily through the South Jersey Catholic Ministries appeal.
Nicely done. We just renamed that to everybody. It used to be the House of Charity Bishops Annual Appeal,
Correct.
and we're slowly getting that branding out there of the new title.
Correct.
So good job.
So I just want to first take a minute and thank anybody who has donated in the past to that, and anybody that will be donating during this appeal, this 2024 appeal that has just rolled out this past few months, because that's primarily what fund these houses, and ours is particularly a house here at Rowan, and Stockton's a little bit different.
Yeah, ours is a little different. It is a center, so we're across the street from the soccer fields from the Stockton University. So we're a little off campus, but we're at a really beautiful spot in the woods, and so it's a very prayerful, peaceful place to come and visit and to stay. We have our own chapel, and we do our mass on campus, or not on campus, but at our center as well. So we have our own altar and everything. So it's a really beautiful center, and we've done a lot to fix it up and make it even more welcoming to everyone.
Yeah, I've been there multiple times. It's a beautiful center, and we call ours a house. So ours is really, it's a gutted rancher house, which we used to have mass here, but that changed a couple years ago. And being a university parish, we have it right down the street at St. Bridget's University Parish. So we were considered a university parish, and Newman Center kind of one as part of the parish family, versus Stockton is kind of like a standalone, like with their masses and everything that takes place there.
Although we are trying to reach out more and more to local churches that are in the area and get more connected with them, so that way we branch out to more support as well, for not only for our students, but like we said, we're also working to integrate more of the high school students as they graduate and different things like that, and hopefully do that through some of the local communities as well. Reach out to them.
Although not to you're right. You are in a lovely house here off the campus in Glassboro, but you do have the Eucharist present here. You do have a small chapel, right?
Yes, we're very unique, where we are blessed and allowed to have a chapel in the house with the Blessed Sacrament present.
So you have a couple of kneelers and some chairs and the tabernacle.
Yeah, so that chapel was only about 4 years old at this point, maybe even 3.5. It's slightly before I got here, and it was made and blessed by Bishop Sullivan. He came here, I understand, to bless it, and it was the garage, and it's converted into, I mean, you would never know it looking into it, at a picture of it, that it was a garage, but it's beautiful floors, an altar. No masses can be said there, or are said there, I should say, but there is the Blessed Sacrament there, and we do have adoration once a week there, and we pray the Rosary daily there as well, and private prayer. It's always open for private prayer. So yes, we do have a chapel here, which just makes it distinct. And I will say something, as a Catholic and who's worked in the church for many years. I worked in an office in the church building, the church office building. It was separate from the church at my previous job, and even when I worked at St. Bridget's in youth ministry, I was in the parish center. And there's something about walking into your job and knowing that Jesus is in the house. There's a peace about it. Now, Jesus was right next door in the church where I worked, right next door, the next building over. But there's something about walking into the house, and I know our students can say the same, feel the same about that.
Yeah, no, it's honestly such a blessing. Like, that's kind of my favorite part, is that you walk in and, everybody makes a point to just go walk in and say hi to Jesus, whether it's, take 5 minutes for private prayer when you walk in the house, or even a simple genuflect. I mean, I can't even begin to describe, even just like having the Blessed Sacrament, I think, in the house, and the culture that breeds from that is just, it's so special, because you could have a Newman Center, and that's wonderful. That's awesome, right? Newman Center's rock. But to have the Eucharist there and just everybody knowing that it's there, it just feels so comforting. It's like coming home, and your family's there, your dad, your protector, and someone who loves you very much, and just being able to say, thank you every day for every blessing that you have is really just so beautiful, such a pleasure. Yeah, such a blessing, honestly.
Actually, it was nice when we pulled up today. You and I met each other in the driveway, and I'm carrying a big heavy bag, but the first thing you did after you saw me, said hello to me, and then you knelt in front of the building, because the Holy Eucharist was there. So it's appropriate to do what you did, and that was so beautiful.
I will say thank you, Mike. I learned that from our students. Like, they started to do that coming and going from the driveway. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so true. Like, I made it a point when I started working here that the first thing I do is go into the chapel, say hello to Jesus, and the last thing I do is usually I either leave out that door or I open the chapel door and say, thank you to the Lord, and then leave. So I've done it in the house, but I started to see the students outside the house, like when they first come up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. So I just got into habit. And there's something about ministry, and I know, Brittany, you could probably speak to this too. It's like this positive peer pressure, as I call it, positive peer pressure. So one sees one doing, they all start doing it. And like it just has become now part of our regular routine for our students. And I think this year especially, our students have really taken note to the Lord being present in the house. And when we come in, they say hello to him. And then when we leave, we have a closing prayer for the night that we all pray together as a group before we all leave and close down for the night. And some other ways too, like anybody in the house that when we say the rosary daily, they have to come in for the first decade. So like we're really like pushing more and more and more as faithful as we can get to recognize that the Lord is in the house. And Brittany, you have Jesus in your
Yes, we do. We have a chapel as well.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful chapel. It's been there since the beginning of the building was built. So we're trying to make it more available to the students right now because our center is off campus. But what I've noticed too, what you said about the peer pressure, holy peer pressure, I've noticed a huge increase in confession in our students. So many of our students, Father offers confession in a few minutes before Mass, and we have now students, it just seemed like one was going every week, and now we have students, 4 or 5 who like
Beautiful.
One are looking for Father. And at our retreat, actually, we had so many students who wanted confession that we had to stay, after our adoration time just to hear confessions. Father was in there for a very long time just hearing confessions. Almost every student went to confession. It was just a beautiful, beautiful sight. So it is something that they definitely we can only do so much as ministers, but it's the students that see each other and see the actions of each other, and then help each other grow in that.
Actually, we should probably note that. So you're associated with St. Bridget's University Parish. So you're the pastor here, Father John Rossi, comes over.
He's our chaplain, yes,
with great regularity.
Yes, every Wednesday you can find him here. And then many of our students attend daily Mass, so we get to see him regularly. And then our weekend Masses are all student Masses as well as parish Masses. So our students are involved in them, so they see him very regularly.
And Brittany, who's your?
Yes, and Father Wren is our chaplain. He's from St. Catherine's in Egg Harbor Township. Okay. So he's part-time at the parish and part-time with us. But he's really dedicated, a super loving, wonderful priest, has a great singing voice whenever we do.
Wow.
Whenever we do karaoke nights, he outshines everyone.
That's great.
But no, he's really sweet, and what's wonderful about him is he's always fixing the building up and always trying to make things as nice as he can. He's brought he put up a whole Stations of the Cross in our church, and he brought over pictures that weren't being used from his old parish that had been shut down, and he's really making the church like so much more reverent and beautiful, and he's just so dedicated to that. So I really appreciate all the work he does.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
that's wonderful to hear.
So I would like to hear from some of our students a little bit, right? So thank you guys for joining here. So I guess
I got my first question is,
go ahead.
And if this is for all 4 of you, and from my left to my right, I'd like to hear this answer. What drew you to your Newman Center, your Newman House?
Well, I was fortunate enough I went to Catholic high school. I went to, my home diocese is the Diocese of Trenton. So I went to Redmond Catholic High School up in Red Bank. So I was fortunate enough, I had sisters from the Sisters of Mercy up there. So they kind of introduced me to the, of Newman, and they told me what it was. And I was like, wow, that was really interesting. And I always heard the horror stories of like, people going to college and like losing their faith. And I was like, well, I don't want this to happen to me because like faith is such like a huge part of my life. So I was like, how can I keep this faith and be others around it? So I did some digging of my own, and then I went through our school's like club registry, so we call it Osprey Hub, and I found Newman, and I emailed our campus minister at the time, Allie, and then this was the summer before I even started on Newman, and then I went to that first Mass, and which was Labor Day weekend, and the rest is really history. So I was fortunate enough to already have that kind of seed planted in my mind of that this is an avenue for me to continue my faith.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, so for me, I was like pretty much like recruited for Newman Club already from our previous campus priest, Father Philip. He really like inspired me. Like I know he was like always pushing me like he's like, you need to join Newman Club, you know, like, and I wasn't hesitant at first, but I kind of wanted to give it a try because, like, why not? And I didn't go to a on-campus like mass just yet, but the first meeting, like Andrew, like, I met Andrew there, and all my friends that are now like my e-board, it's pretty much really just a blessing in disguise. Just like everyone there just gave me such a like fullness to really like be confident talking about my faith, and just overall just be like more open, because I'm compared to like my freshman year as a junior now, it's like I'm so like involved in so much that like I shout out Newman Club as a representative, not because I'm vice president, but also just like I'm very passionate about it. So I just like, and also I'm Filipino, so it's like Christianity just runs through.
That's right.
It just runs through.
Catholicism, pretty much, right?
Yeah,
the Philippines is like 99% Catholic.
Yeah, I owe it to my mom. She's like, she pushes me and my brother, especially just her whole family, just to do like get us involved anything like religiously. So I give my props to my mama. So
I'll be honest with you, I have grown to love the Filipino community in my time in the diocese.
I love them and their food.
Yes, absolutely, their food.
That's right.
That's true, but the dedication of the Filipinos in South Jersey has been nothing short of truly awe-inspiring.
Yes.
So if you've never had an opportunity, listeners, to avail yourselves of enjoying the cultural uniqueness of the Filipino community, if there's ever a Filipino event going on in your church, or your parish, your diocese, your region, check it out, because A, great food. B, you want to see some folks who truly love their faith, go to a Filipino event. It's amazing.
And it really like my parents are also like part of a group called the Ministry Families of Christ. So that little couples like Filipino group that's very like, it's very like, in the United States, like it's like a big organization. It used to be called Couples for Christ was their old branding. So my parents actually have been members since around like 2015. So they've been going strong, and that's where like also me being in like music was like what kept me going too.
That's great.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh wow, great.
Yeah, me and Andrew are always there with our shout out our friend Jonah.
Yep.
Every Sunday. So yeah.
That's great. So you do the music for mass every week. Phenomenal. What do you play?
So I actually sing for mass. I do the psalm every Sunday when I can, because I always kind of share the load with like a lot of us, because our music ministry actually grew. Shout out our boy Justin. Yes, because I also serve at St. Catherine Drexel in Egg River Township.
Were you part of the youth group there with Millette?
Yeah. Millette was also a good really big influence too. I was part of like a little bit of the like core team, but kind of stepped away because so much stuff was happening. But I did attend like the
retreat.
NCYC. I think that's what also kind of like kickstarted this journey too. So
and anybody who missed our episode with Millette Locasal a couple of months ago, back in November, go back and check it out, because she's great, and their youth group is phenomenal.
Yep.
So how about you, Kat?
So I wasn't as lucky as Andrew. Like growing up, I went to CCD, but didn't go to mass on Sundays, and I can't even say we were CEO Catholics. Like we would wake up Christmas morning and just not even go to mass, and very like nominally Catholic. But it actually wasn't until my childhood best friend, shout out Jimmy Sharkey, but he came to me one day. He's like, I'm converting to Catholicism. I'm getting my sacraments. I was like, dude, what? I was like, it was a total left field kind of comment. And I was like, oh, cool. Like, that's awesome. He's like, yeah, like, I just transferred, to Rowan, because he went to GW first, and he transferred to Rowan and got his sacraments. And he was like, yeah, I was coming to the Newman Center. And I was like, dude, what even is that? Right? Like, I had no idea what a Newman Center was. And it wasn't until that he's like, you got to come. It's so awesome. And I was like, I don't know about that, maybe. And I was dating this kid at the time who was also Catholic. And so starting to get back into my faith, and now I'm leading 2 ministries. I'm on e-board. I'm doing service, and it's so beautiful that I've only been here. This is my 2nd year, and I'm just all in. And I've met some of my greatest friends, and this this house has done so much for me spiritually. It's like a place where, they don't ask anything of you when you come in. They're not like storming you at the door like, where's your baptismal certificate? No, they're like, they meet you where they're at, and you're like, come as you are, but you can't expect to ever stay as you are, because you're going to walk out of here changed. And right above the door, we actually have a sign. It just says, let's go be saints. And we truly do live that. And I think it's so beautiful, even in just casual conversation with classmates. And I'm like, hey, like, come to Newman. Hey, come to Newman. And reaching out to like high school students and being like, no, this is like a place where they're going to love you. Like, and I don't mean like love you like because of what you can do for them. They love you just because that's how Christ, that's one of God's greatest commandments is to love each other as I've loved you, and that's so beautiful, and it's truly lived in a Newman Center. So that's kind of my Newman story. Yeah,
I love the passion. Not all of your people are passionate. Both of you. Go ahead.
All right, so I would say honestly, my story, all of it is very similar to Kat's. I also grew up as like a nominal Catholic. My family only went to church on Christmas Eve, and I think around the age 10 we just stopped going. And I remember at that moment that was like one of the most happiest moments of my life. I could just spend the weekend playing video games and everything like that. And so looking back, honestly, I'm like, wow, that was like one of the worst things I ever said in my life. But anyways, so I pretty much just went through the average public school life until around my junior year of high school, where out of nowhere I just started praying the rosary. Someone told me to pray one day. Actually, it was my brother, who I considered a mentor. And once he told me to do that, it honestly just changed my life, Like, I think, honestly, our Lord used the one thing that will, like, get me in, hook, line, and sinker, which was the rosary. And by Our Lady's intercession, I'm here right now. And so I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah.
And so, anyway, I was honestly, like, alone in my faith for a while, because there's really, like, no practicing Catholics in a public school. I was like, okay, I guess I'll just be a lone wolf, maybe forever, because I never even knew that, like, practicing Catholics my age would even exist. And so I was pretty much just alone for about the first 2 semesters of college. And so around the spring, my freshman year, honestly, almost like 2 years ago today, probably, I was in the need for confession. I was like looking at my laptop for like confessions near me, and I saw that like there will be a priest at the Newman house on a Wednesday night. I was like, okay, I'll go. But then it turns out actually that night was the night where there was a huge surprise for the old campus minister, Rebecca's fiance, to propose to her. And so I was there with that. And I was like so confused because I did my confession and I got my penance and I went into the chapel to pray, and I looked to my left, there's just this one guy standing there, which was Rebecca's fiance, waiting for her to come in to propose.
That is funny.
I'm like, what the heck's going on right now? And so I saw the whole proposal. It was great, but I was like, I don't really want to be here. So I left. Right. And it wasn't until that fall where I was at this random church near my house and I was looking in the bulletin and I saw a big Newman ad, and then it hit me. Like when the Holy Spirit's speaking to you and you know it's God and you can't ignore it. And there was like one of those moments, and I was like, crap, I don't want to go back. I really don't, Lord. But I did. And honestly, it changed my life forever. Really. Like, I think found friends, God willing, I will have until, like you said earlier, I'm in the grave. Yeah. Like, I'm just so grateful. And I never even like figured I would be the vice president, and leading the men's ministry to help men be like the best saints they can be for our Lord. Yeah. Like, it's just crazy how like just a little inspiration can like just completely change your life. And so for everyone listening right now, if you feel like God's inspiring you to do something, even if it's like very insignificant, like do it, because honestly it could change your life. All right, so that's my Newman story.
I'm going to be honest with you. Of all these stories, the things that I've taken away from this, the mostly is that I didn't know Rebecca got engaged here.
I didn't know that either. I just heard that for the first time. And I've known Rebecca for
Yeah, I know. Rebecca's
like
been on this
years.
podcast.
Yeah.
I follow her on social media.
Yeah.
I had no idea that this was where the...
I didn't know either.
So thank you for that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that little piece, that little nugget filled in.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Now we all know.
Very interesting night.
Yeah, I can imagine that, and that I would have had the same reaction and be like, "Okay, I gotta get out of here."
Yeah, that'd be.
I am not
fun.
a member of this group. But the thing that's really kind of amazed me in all your stories is actually how welcoming it is here. I mean, I follow both of the groups on social media, and I'm always impressed by the number of people who are here. I mean, your Wednesday night events, and there's no other way to refer to it as other than an event. You got food.
Newman night, we call it.
You can call it Newman night, but it's an event.
It's a to-do.
It is a to-do. There is a ton of food here, and then there's just kids lying around all over the floors, sitting here for a presentation. So we're recording this a little early in March. So your most recent one was actually our good friend.
We love her.
We love her. Our fellow co-host from Talking Saints, Lori Power, was here giving her presentation on consecrated virginity.
Yeah, living in the world.
Living in the world, right? And so I actually saw her and asked her a few days later how it was, and she said it was a great reception. I was kind of curious to see how the kids were going to. I was like, were you recruiting? Like, how is it a little early for that?
I don't know.
And plus, half of them were guys.
Planting seeds.
Well, that's the thing. That's what she said.
I might have to break up with my boyfriend now. That's how good that was. You know what I mean?
But that's it. You bring I'm going to assume it's both of you. You guys bring in such great presentations.
Yeah, I think that's really key part of it. I'm a Newman alumni from Rowan. I was part of this ministry when I was in college here, and some of the key truths and teachings of the church were spoken by guest speakers. Like, I can remember some. Actually, one of the doctors that I ended up seeing for a good chunk of my life, because he was a Catholic doctor, I first met giving a presentation at Newman on like the ethics and morals of like being a Catholic doctor, and so I remembered him and I sought him out, right? So I think those are some things that we do, is like give them a little bit of everything from these wonderful, mostly people within our diocese that are, different vocations and different ways they're living in the world, or professions and different things they're doing, but through the lens of the Catholic faith, and then sharing that with our students and allowing them to grow through that. And I think that's really important. And then some of them we do in-house, like Father Rossi and I have done several of the Newman nights as well on different topics of faith or things like that. So I think that's really important. And I know Stockton runs theirs very similarly.
Yeah,
in the
our
structure.
Newman nights are on Thursday nights, and we do some on campus and at our center. So we also have different guest speakers, and we do different socials with them as well. So we were also blessed to have a lot of guest speakers come to our retreat as well. But we also have an interesting events where on campus our students run the meetings, and so they're in charge of coming up with the discussion, and they're in charge of coming up with the topics. So we're actually starting our series on heaven, hell, and purgatory. They decided that they're going to present on those topics.
Nice.
So it's a time where they get to dive in and really explore a topic and then share about it that they're interested in.
That's fascinating.
So that's and they wanted to do it in time for finals week is when we're doing hell.
Oh, nice.
It's very ironic.
You're living it.
Yes, that was 100% intentional.
Well, we're kind of a similar structure in the sense that Father Rossi and I plan the Wednesday nights for our students, and then all of our ministries are student led for the topics weekly. So Kat, for instance, has women's ministry tonight, and her topic was every week it comes up by her, and same for Max with his Thursday night men's group, our Bible study leaders. So I think there's a certain sense. I think one of the things that we forgot to mention early on, we're referencing Newman Club and Rowan Catholic Campus Ministry, is that we are SGA charter clubs on our campus. So we're recognized by the greater campus in the sense of through the SGA organizations. And we used to be Newman Club here. It changed some years ago, over 10 years ago, to Catholic Campus Ministry. Just for whatever reason, they decided to do that at that point. It was Newman Club when I was here. I like calling it Newman Club. I like hearing it Newman Club, but we don't ever refer to it here anymore as Newman Club.
We try to mix it up a little bit. So we'll call it Newman Club amongst the club, but then also sometimes when we're reaching out to the greater campus, we do call it Catholic Campus Ministry, only because
they don't know what Newman Club is.
We get a few looks when we say Newman Club.
Exactly.
Or like Newman Club.
That's why I think they changed it here, is to be more recognizable, understand what it is, because what does it make you a new man? Like, we don't know what that means.
People get that all the time. So
I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah. So we definitely, when we're reaching out to the greater campus, we go Catholic Campus Ministry, but then we try to keep with the Newman Nights and Newman Club too.
Yeah, I think that's so important. But we were talking a little bit about how people got here and all of that, and I think it's really important to share that we do a lot of outreach to the high school students, do a lot of outreach to our greater area. Like, hearing that you saw that, Max, in the bulletin just warms my heart.
That's wonderful, yeah.
Because I put that out there, like I send it to the diocese to put in the bulletins, and you hope that they do. and many parishes do. I'm really thankful for that. And so to hear that your parish took the time to put it into the bulletin and it reached somebody, and we had several people that said, like, I heard you speak at my parish on this, and I heard you at my high school, and I think that's really important for that outreach. And Brittany, this was a little bit of your idea, the open houses last year, for us to start that. And
so I just thought it was important to reach the high schoolers and to start prepping them, because I know a lot of them don't really know when they go to college that there is support out there, that they can find Catholic support and they can find Catholic community. So I just wanted to make sure to reach them even before they came onto campus, that they heard about us, heard what we were doing, and that there is support, Catholic support on campus, no matter what college you go to. Even if it isn't a Newman house, there's probably some kind of young adult group or some kind of Catholic organization within, your diocese. So I just thought that that was really important for us to reach them even before they got on campus. So that way, just the more you spread the word, the more you can reach people and the more hearts you can touch. So I thought that was important.
It's interesting. So my son's a sophomore right now in high school, and a friend of mine was recommending that, because we're not taking vacation this year for a variety of reasons, but they said
college tours.
They said do college tours, like make that your vacation, where you take a week and go around and hit all the places he wants to go. And because of the amount of time I spend here now, I'm now actively looking to see these universities that he's interested in, do they have Newman clubs?
Right.
Because I'd like him to at least have the opportunity to go. Because you and my wife were both members of Rowan's, different time periods, but she talks about it all the time, about how being here was able to keep her focused on her faith. And I really do think that it's incredibly useful, because it's so easily get swayed away.
Yeah. Oh, it's so true. It's very, very true. I mean, I've always heard it said, college is the devil's playground. It really is, because students are really just trying to find their own way, and there's so many temptations. And so to have a safe space, for the students to come to and learn about their faith at the same time, be in good company, have social events, have fellowship, have time to hang out, have places where they can be when they don't want to be on campus. It really just makes a difference in each of the students' lives, and to different degrees. We have ones that are here every single day of the week because this is where they like to be. We have others that check in on Wednesday nights with our Newman nights, others that are just part of women's ministry because they really like just being around the other ladies. So I know that it's you can have it to varying degrees. And then we have students that just come to Mass on Sundays. And we hope that they would come here on Wednesdays, but they never made that changeover. They just stay and go to Mass, which is good. That's the most important thing that they could do that week. But so it offers something for everybody to whatever degree they want to be involved in. And I think that's really important, that at least we offer something.
I've thought about crashing here Monday morning bagels.
Come.
Post thing.
You could have came today. We cleaned the cemetery instead of going to get bagels. That would have been a good one to come to. You could have helped us clean. Which is an important aspect. Service.
It is.
Service is another thing that we all do.
So is burying the dead. So that's a nice pairing between the two of them. Are there any presentations you've wanted to have and haven't had the opportunity to have yet? Were there anything that you were would you a guest speaker that you like? I know everybody wants Father Mike Schmidt. Everybody wants this. Other than the obvious ones, were there any topics that you haven't touched on yet that you'd really like to hit?
I think part of it is even just kind of watching your friends change and grow in holiness. I think is the coolest thing that happens, personally, because Max, when I first met him, it was it's this more chill, quiet dude. Now he's the most on fire. I mean, he's bringing his men's group. They're rocking in the rain, just praying, and so hardcore and just so beautiful to see that change. But I think coming into it is they make it super accessible, which I think is really, really cool. Is it's not even just welcoming, it's just we want you here, and we actively try to get you to come. And even watching our other friends, seeing those people that just come to Mass, and how every single little person comes and sees, oh, I see this person going to Mass and they never come to Newman night, and sprinting out of the vestibule to grab them and be come to Newman night.
Well, we don't grab them.
No, we don't grab them. No, we're not grabbing time.
Grab Greg.
No, but just being hey, you should really come. There's
invite
food. But I think what I would really love to see is evangelization. How can we best do that? Because I feel I feel like that's probably one of the most important things that we can do, right? Is because, you know, people don't know that we're here, or they don't even know sometimes how to talk to people about it without being like, yeah, crazy Jesus people. You know, we don't want to be like that. We want to make it accessible, because I think that's the best part, right? Is just being like, oh, this is so out of reach, so out of touch, I can't relate with anybody. But I think being as raw as possible, but being able to connect with people, I think is something I'd really like to see happen.
Actually, that's a great topic, is how to be an evangelizer.
Yeah.
That's because it's not, for some people, it's very difficult.
Sure, yeah.
Me being one of them.
We started something last semester with driveway evangelization, because we're right here. We have our own space, and we have a lot of students pass by here because it's a traffic flow right here. So we did it last semester, and we're going to do one this semester where we're out on the drive sharing about who we are. We had a hot chocolate in the winter time. We're going to have lemonade or something in the spring.
Oh,
and,
nice.
You know, give it out for free, so everyone likes something for free, and then like share a little bit about who we are. And one of the things that we offered to that was just prayer intentions, and people really took to writing down prayer intentions. And then we really did pray for each and every individual one that was written on our board. And I think just even letting people know, like, there's an outlet for faith. Like, maybe they don't need us right now, but when in that time comes, they know who we are and where we are where we're located.
I agree.
We've covered so much in our meetings. We've covered everything from the history of why we're Newman, the life of Saint John Henry Newman. We talked about vocations. We've talked about black saints. We've talked about, what else have we talked about?
Retreat, which is like, like when I went on a tangent about that. Oh man, like it was like also like a meeting where like there was like tons of new people. Like we didn't even like ever seen these people before, and then like the way that I'm so passionate about it, because one thing, you know, I don't want to pat myself in the back for, is just like the way I
no, we support that. Go ahead.
yeah.
Like it's just like, you know, promoting just like adoration for retreat is
adoration
like,
has these past few retreats have been very powerful.
Like I tell them, I'm like, you know, it's gonna suck because it's gonna be the best thing in the world right after, because like, you know, everybody in that room this past retreat was like, there was a lot of them, like Brittany mentioned like earlier, that, you know, that they stayed for a long time. We had a lot of like first time like people going to confession. Like I feel like this one, like compared to like, you know, our like spring one was.
Yeah, adoration was. Yeah. We always tell people when you go on retreat, there's the time before adoration and then there's time after adoration, because like we always say, like the whole retreat takes on a whole different meaning, and you're truly a changed person. Like Gabe can attest this. I was bawling my eyes out at adoration. It was the music. There was just this one line in the music, and I was already feeling it. Then there was one line.
Shout out Jeffrey Shields.
Yes, there was just this one line, and that just broke me. Here come the waterworks.
Wait, that's not fair. You're bringing Jeff Shields to do the music? That's gonna they're gonna crush everybody.
It's his sister. Why not?
That's what I'm saying. Brittany's, that's cheating.
It was that one
Jeff
thing.
Shields,
and it was
shout out to Jeff Shields for he is my brother. He does Forgotten Truth Ministry. He does music for the diocese.
He's amazing. He's been on the podcast at least twice, and did our live music the one time when we had our live show.
That was fun.
Along with the Shields family, as I recall. That was amazing. We've
actually already had a history of a lot of Shields members. Yep. We had Brittany's younger sister join our last spring retreat, which was nice. We didn't even know that was Brittany's sister.
We did not know that was Brittany's sister.
But no, we're really fortunate to also have had Jeffrey ever since our freshman year. Yeah, no, he's the best.
I mean, that's what we really try to.
Before I worked there, Jeffrey was doing music.
Yeah.
And that's what we try to show our new members. Like, there's these powerful moments that you can have, and back as we're on the top of powerful moments, like that adoration particularly was extremely powerful for me because, and Brittany and Gabe know this, I've made the decision to enter seminary this coming fall to become a priest with my home diocese.
Diocese of Trenton?
Yes.
Congratulations.
So that was I was telling Father this afterwards, that I've never been more sure about a decision in my life, and then after that adoration, I've never been more sure about my decision to enter seminary than after that adoration.
And we've been all of our friends, we've been very supportive of Andrew. We always joke around, Father Drew.
Father Ren too. Father Ren puts his jokes in too. So,
but
All right, wait a second. Hold on. This is now 2 of the Newman people who have been sent to or been called into seminary in the Diocese of Trenton? Didn't you guys have a guy?
One of our former Newman guys.
Yeah.
From 2 years ago.
All right, it's time for the
Leonard.
Diocese of Trenton to start paying up.
Yeah, well,
is what I'm saying.
We might have some Camden guys coming in too. You don't know.
Well, no, that's good too. But
one of our alumni, who's actually the current pastor of my old high school parish, that I was able to reconnect with him at an alumni event at my old high school. He went to Newman, and he was the president of Newman at Stockton too. So
great. What's his name?
Father Rick Osborne.
Oh, great.
So we were able to reconnect with. We were talking about that
with
as
Trenton.
well.
You think about Trenton; it's in the center of the state, so like students are going to want to like go to Stockton and Rowan because it's like kind of close. So I don't know. I'm just trying to make up excuses why we're getting Trenton guys.
I'm trying to think about getting how do we get Bishop O'Connell to start funding some of our stuff if we're going to send him priests all the time. All right. But no, that actually, listen, I love the power of Newman House that you're able to cultivate, vocations here. And you have a track record, you yourself have a track record of cultivating vocations. So it's like another apparatus,
Yeah.
So Brittany, congratulations for getting on that train.
Have you been officially accepted to the Propaedeutic year?
I'm in the process of all of that.
Okay.
So I'm in actually the process of finding a pastor willing to sponsor me.
Okay.
I thought my parish priest would be able to, but for some reason he can't. So I'm currently going. I'm currently in the process of tracking down my old high school chaplain.
Okay.
But he's kind of been moved around all over diocese because I was discerning this. This has been 8 years now in the making. I started discerning this in high school after my round of severe sickness. I won't get into that because that's a long story.
Another podcast, another day.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. Vocation stories.
Sure. But so this was a while in the making. So he used to always tell me, when you make your decision, I'll be willing to sponsor you. So I'm currently in the process of tracking him down for that.
So exciting.
I also want to graduate college first because
is that this? You're a senior this year?
I'm a junior, so
you have
next
one more year.
May.
Okay.
Yes.
Exciting. Very exciting.
That's very exciting. Yeah. Good. Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Great.
We only have a few minutes left, and I really want to talk about our open houses.
Yeah. No. By all means.
That are coming up.
And where people can learn more about them.
Yes. Yeah. I think it's really important. So as Brittany and I mentioned a little earlier in the podcast, we try to do outreach to our local Catholic high schools in the Diocese of Camden and anywhere else that invites us in to do those talks. We've run retreats, but most importantly, we like to open our doors too to share with high school juniors and seniors who would be interested in potentially seeking out Stockton or Rowan in application to go to that college or university, and additionally, if they're Catholic, to see what the Newman houses have to offer. So both of us have set up intentional, I should say, meetings for them to be centered around an open house. And so ours is April 3rd at Rowan University's Newman House. And it's one of our regular Newman nights, so it's going to be dinner at 6 like normal, and then our meeting at 7, but only it's open to any junior seniors that want to come in and be a part of this meeting and just see what a regular Newman night looks like, what other college students around looks like, and let them partake in this meeting and just get the feel of it, and then be able to have a question and answer time with our students, especially our e-board members who know a lot about the ministry, about what does the campus ministry offer them as high school juniors and seniors. So that's April 3rd at 1 Redmond Ave at the Newman House at Rowan University, and we invite all prospective students to come, high school students to come that are juniors or seniors, to check us out.
Yes, and ours is very similar setup, but ours is on Sunday, April 14th. We're having our Mass on Sunday at 6 p.m., and then afterwards we'll invite all the students and their families to join us for dinner and social time afterwards. We're having a spaghetti dinner, and our current students will be sharing a little bit about their stories, their testimonies about their time, not only at Stockton, but also as part of the Newman House. So we invite any juniors or seniors in high school to come and join us. It'll be at our Campus Ministry Center in Galloway. You can find out more information on our website or also on our Instagram as well.
What's your website and your Instagram?
Our website is, you just look up Catholic Campus Ministry in Galloway, it will come up. And then our Instagram is Catholic Campus Ministry.
Oh, wait, hold on.
I'm part of the Instagram. It's just under Stockton Newman Club. Yeah,
Stockton.
On Instagram.
Yeah, and Rowan is Rowan Catholic on Instagram, and then our website is the St. Bridget University Parish website. So it's St. Bridget, BridgetUniversity UP for University Parish. So stbridgetup.org. And if you click students, that's our whole section, our whole detailed list of everything that we do and where you can get more information. We're also on Facebook under St. Bridget University Parish as well. So we do a lot of social media posts, and you can check all that out there.
You guys do a lot of social media posts, but you guys do it beautifully, and it's wonderful. And I learn stuff about my own parish by following you, so it's very useful. And just to go back to those open houses, you did mention did you tell me that you had parents and like grandparents show up because they wanted
some more
what
info.
It was like?
Yeah. I would encourage more of the high schoolers to attend, but if you are a parent or grandparent and you want to find some more information out, we ain't going to turn you away. Definitely come and check it out, and then share with your child or grandchild what we have. But we're really looking for those students to really be a part of that, and we'll have some giveaways too. So come
that's great.
April 3rd and April 14th.
Well, thank you all for joining us today. We really appreciate that. Carrie, thank you for coming back on the
You're
podcast
welcome.
as host. I hope it won't be such a long break next time. And to all our listeners, thank you for tuning in, and we'll talk to you again next week. See you, everybody.
God bless.